with liberty and justice for all.
If you would remain standing for one moment, we'd like to take a moment to recognize the service of a longtime employee of the system who has been retired. John, who passed away over the weekend, was an assistant superintendent for many, many years, and we'd just like to acknowledge his service with a moment of silence. Thank you. John DiGiamarino, if I didn't mention John's last name. We wish his family the best. And on the regular session agenda, the first order of business is the approval of minutes for the executive session of April 11th and the regular session of April 11th. We can take an appropriate motion to approve. Any alterations, deletions, amendments? No? Hearing none. On the motion to approve the minutes, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain noted for Mr. Altrino. The next portion of the meeting is public comment, and now would be the time for anyone in the audience to come forward and speak on any of the topics of tonight's agenda. If you'd please give us your name and address.
Good evening, Mayor Howard, Superintendent Smith, and members of the school committee. For the record, my name is Maureen Grossi. I live at 36 Johnson Street, here in the city of Malden. But I am also one of the administrative assistants at the Linden School. Joan Federico, our union president, would have been here tonight, but unfortunately there was a death in her family, so she asked if I would read this statement to all of you. I stand before you to speak for myself and my fellow administrative assistants regarding the lack of progress in our efforts in contract negotiations. We've been out of contract since July 2009. The sole holdup to achieving a successful resolution to negotiations seems to be the issue of parity. We are a group of 30 women who are crucial to the day-to-day operations of the Malden Public School System. We are asking for this committee's help in overcoming the one obstacle that stands in the way of successful negotiations by supporting what is fair and equitable. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you very much, Maureen. Public comment is still open. For anyone in the audience that would like to step forward on any topic of this evening's agenda, please do so. Not seeing anyone else coming forward, we'll consider that portion of the meeting closed and move on to item number 4, which contains superintendent's reports, and the superintendent will provide some information to the committee thereon.
Okay, thank you very much. I just have 2 items on the report for this meeting. First, having to do with the FY12 budget. As you'll notice in the figures that I've given to you, the adjustments that we've made since the last meeting are such that they're not dramatic changes one way or the other. We did factor in the proposed increase that came out of the Senate and the House in terms of the circuit breaker reimbursements. There were a couple more expenses that I added, and I'd be happy to respond to any questions that folks might have about that. I would say at this point in time there are 2 points of particular consideration. The first is we need to balance this proposal with whatever numbers come out of the city, out of the mayor's office, in order to get a better sense of where we are and how this stacks up against the proposed budget for the entire city. And then secondly, as of right now, we are looking at a May 15th date where we are going to need to notify any personnel if we were to have layoffs. So it's important for us to try and identify some kind of a number soon so that we can make some appropriate projections. Otherwise, we don't want to find ourselves in a position where we are sending out letters that don't need to be sent out just because we're not sure of where we are. So that is important to consider. So again, I would, if anybody has any questions about the numbers or items that I've forwarded to you, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
questions of the superintendent on the information? Mr. Altrino?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Superintendent, the items in red are changes, is that
They are
correct?
changes, yep.
Okay. If it's okay with the members of the committee, I'd like to refer this, since it's brand new, to the Budget Subcommittee, which I believe is scheduled May 9th or first, early May. But I don't want to stop anyone from speaking, but for process reasons, the superintendent, we can open it up, post it to the public, maybe have it at one of the schools or in the council chambers, but I think the public needs some time to look at some of the items read, and it'll give some of us time to ask the superintendent any questions and go from there, but it would be fair to the public to invite them to this meeting to see some of the changes. But again, I don't want to stifle any of my fellow colleagues tonight if they have questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Altrino. Any other observations? Ms. Crowe?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have one question. Just on the Minuteman voc tuitions, we've never usually seen those in any of necessarily the budget, so is we have three additional, or?
Yes, there are three
how do they-
additional applications that we've just received, and they're for kids who will be in the 9th grade next year. At the same time, I'm waiting for a call back from Cambridge Rindge and Latin. The programs that they have applied for, I believe 2, if not possibly 3 of the programs are also offered by Cambridge Rindge and Latin, and we have an arrangement where our students, we currently have a student at Rindge and Latin in the Voc Tech program taking a fully enrolled at no cost to us. So I'm looking to move this entire item over to Rindge and Latin so we don't incur these additional expenses.
And so it might be no cost to us, but do we pay for transportation for them to get there?
We have not in the case of the particular student that is going, but certainly that is something that we would pay for, and it could be even a T-Pass, something of that sort. It does not have to be, door-to-door cab.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Crowe. Yep. One more. Mr. Waldi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Superintendent Smith, just 2 questions. One is the nurse summer at the PIC. Can you just explain what the duties would be of the nurse at the PIC, and if this is a new position?
Well, no, in the past, we have had a nurse available, but it was not, we've had to do it through budget revisions rather than it being actually included in the budget. This is so that we can take care of the proper paperwork and physicals for students right at enrollment as quickly as possible to get them processed through the PIC and assigned to schools.
Great. My only other question was about the guidance counselor.
Right.
Accreditation, so I'm assuming this is up at the high school we're adding a guidance
This
counselor?
is at the high school. Right now, we've been in conversations with New England Association of Schools and Colleges, and it sent us a pretty straightforward message that were we to stay at our current level, we would in fact not achieve accreditation for that particular reason. We would get at least a warning in that area because we are below frankly the minimum allocation, student guidance counselor ratio. So that is why at this point in time, Mr. Brown and I met last week about it, and that's why it's been added.
Now, I'm sure this is a little bit premature, the speculation, but do you know where, maybe with discussions with Mr. Brown, with Mongela, where that guidance counselor would fit in the structure?
Not sure yet. I mean, we certainly the guidance counselor who's most severely impacted right now is the 9th grade.
Yeah.
Right, and that person has over 500 students that she's responsible for. So it is likely that at least some, if not a lot or most of those services would be devoted to 9th graders.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Waldi. Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, on Mr. Altrino's recommendation to have the Budget Subcommittee review all the relevant material and begin getting commentary back from interested constituents and or parents. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Any opposed? So referred.
Okay.
Next item.
The next item, I am very, very pleased to announce tonight the appointment of Richard Bransfield who's been selected to be the new principal of Linden School, effective July 1, 2011. Mr. Bransfield went through a rigorous process in applying and interviewing for the job. We had, how many applicants, Nancy?
Started out with about 25.
Started out with 25 applicants, and Mr. Bransfield emerged from the process as the unanimous recommendation of the committee. And I had an opportunity to meet with him afterwards, grill him a little bit more, and I think I share their enthusiasm. So I've asked Mr. Bransfield to join us tonight to answer any questions that you have, but also to kind of give you a sense of some of the things that are on his mind in terms of making a transition to that position. So, Rich, if you will.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. And Sid did grill me quite a bit, so I think I passed his muster, so that's pretty much all that counted at that point. But I just want to take a minute to thank you and the many, many people that have sent me support as I take on this leadership role at the Linden School. In our district, we set a goal for the students to teach perseverance and grit, and this is truly a teachable moment. It's great to know that a kid from Malden who grew up down in Linden can work, study hard, and be rewarded for years of service to the only district I've ever worked in. So I owe a lot of this to many of you on the committee, to Sid, who's kind of pushed and prodded me to be a better teacher, to Sue Vitalato, who kind of gave me the opportunity, and to my friend Dana Brown, who also pushed and prodded me a little bit to move along in the administrative roles that I've had. The next few months are always critical when a leader takes over, so I just wanted to kind of outline what my initial goals might be. Over the next few weeks, it's my plan to spend some time in the building to get an understanding of the day-to-day operations and to begin to foster relationships with the Linden School community. I want everyone to understand that the Linden School will continue to be student-centered, a place where decisions are made in the best interest of making our students lifelong independent learners that understand the importance of education and being respectful members of the community. I also plan to convene a transition team that will include administration from the Linden as well as staff members. It will be our goal together to put together a calendar of class visits in an effort to look at and enhance the great job the Linden staff already does. I will look to schedule data meetings as a way of looking at current instructional progress to be sure that proper interventions are being made for our students. I will also, with the team, look at scheduling and be sure that we can include common planning time that's critical for fostering collegiality and conversation critical to improving the pedagogical process. And lastly, I plan to reach out to the many organizations and community members that currently work with the Linden School. With them, I hope we can map out and work together over the next year and many years to come. I must tell you, I'm pretty excited about this honor and can't wait to get started. Henry Ford once said that coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. Building trust and showing people that we can, as a team, make great things happen is the direction I plan to lead the Linden School. Thank you.
Questions of Principal Bransfield? Mr. Froyo?
Mr. Bransfield, I'd just like to say congratulations. Since I was elected to the school committee, I've been trying to push for people to get promotions in the system. It seems like most of the time people from outside the system get these type of jobs. And you probably did you go to Linden School?
I went to Linden School,
okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to say congratulations. I know you'll do a good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Froyo. Other questions or commentary for Mr. Bransfield? Mr. Waldai?
I'm going to leave questions out because Mr. Bransfield made me promise not to heckle him, so I won't do that. But I will say that I am very, very excited about this. You talked a lot about being pushed and prodded by a lot of people, and Mr. Bransfield pushed and prodded me as a student throughout my development, and I'm very grateful to him for that. But it was really great to hear you lay out all of your plans, all of the schedule ideas, and all the things that you want to do, and the transition process. But what I'm most excited about is getting to see your energy and enthusiasm in action. You're going to be a great asset to that school, to this district, as you already are, and I really look forward to seeing
Thanks,
how
Al.
you shake up the place. So congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you.
Mr. Waldine, to the right. Mr. Duffy?
No questions, Mr. Bransfield. You voted unanimously. Obviously, you passed it, Sid's muster and everyone else. I'm very excited for you. As much as the Linden community is going to be very thrilled to have you over there, the BB community is very much going to miss you. And so that's a testament to the way you've operated, your philosophy of your open door, and just the way you handled yourself in all the situations. Having been, being in the school committee and being at the BB school as both a parent and a school committee person, I've really appreciated the way you've done everything in your business. So it's sad to see you go from the BB, but I know Linda's getting a great person, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duffy. Mr. Iadino?
Rich, I just wanted to offer my congratulations to you. You and I go back a long way when you were a science teacher at the Lincoln School and I was teaching social studies. And the pushing and the prodding has worked very well on your behalf, and you're going to do a great job. So congratulations, and just remember how good the faculty is there.
Absolutely. Thanks, Lonnie.
Thank you, Mr. Iadino. Richard, congratulations. You know, I know there's a lot that you've left out of your own personal story that deals with individual grit. You'll be a tremendous role model for young children down at the Linden School just by virtue of what you've experienced on your own and what you've overcome in your own life. Glad to see you down there. We look forward to a great administration for the school. So,
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bransfield. Appreciate it. That's it for my report.
Item number 5, deliberations, subcommittee updates. And I will let Mr. Altrino continue on with whatever other portions of the meeting there are, together with the subcommittee updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any subcommittee updates? No? No subcommittee updates? Ms. Crowe?
I just want to reiterate that we will be having a budget subcommittee meeting on Monday, May 9th, in the superintendent's office at 5 o'clock, and so we really do encourage everybody to come and see what the superintendent's plan is with some of the changes. So we're looking pretty good still in the Senate and the House budget, but we still got to kind of keep the pressure on and make sure that, until the money gets allocated to here, we can't really count on that. So again, Monday, May 9th, 5 o'clock, budget subcommittee meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crowe. Any questions for Ms. Crowe? Any other updates? Seeing no updates, we'll go to, and the docket is clear, so we'll go to personal privilege. Any personal privilege? Mr. Iavino.
Just a couple of notices, Mr. Altrino. I want to call your attention to the fact that the superintendent has allowed me to distribute these flyers that will be delivered to each of the schools. I'm not going to make the secretaries have to count them out. I've already done that in piles of 25. These will be going to kindergarten and grade 5, and it is part of the Kiwanis Club of Malden's Youth Safety Program, where they're going to be offering a program for new parents. Those of us who are parents know the trauma of and the angst when a new child is brought, when you have your first child. It's a blessed event, but there's a certain amount of anxiety that goes with it, and this course being offered at Cataldo Ambulance will go a long way toward easing that. Also, in conjunction with Mr. Duffy and the Malden YMCA, the Kiwanis will be conducting a bike helmet giveaway this Saturday, the 30th of April. What time, Kevin? 10? Starting at 9, going until?
11, 12. Let's say 12.
Until 12. The helmets go very, very quickly. And they're free of charge, and they're donated by an anonymous person who cares a tremendous amount, great deal about youth safety and child safety. So we look forward to serving the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iavino. Mr. Duffy.
In addition to the Healthy Kids Day this Saturday, we have the Safe Routes to School. That'll be on May 4th. School Committee President Steve Winslow has put it together again. We'll make sure the Connect ads go out on that. And then just early warning to let everyone know that on May 21st, we're doing the second annual Walk Malden event, and this year will be the River Walk. So I'll give you more details as we move forward on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duffy. Anyone to my right? No. To my left? Not seeing anyone? Take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Duffy, seconded by Mr. Iavino. All those in favor? Motion.